One of the old line businesses in Sheboygan, and one that has placed our is the Reiss Coal Company, whose cargoes of coal and in later years oil have powered the wheels of Sheboygan's industry and heated her homes and businesses. It was the far-sighted enterprise of Clemens Reiss almost 80 years ago which has made Sheboygan a major port on the Great Lakes, and which now is on the threshold of becoming one of the ports of the world with the advent of the St. Lawrence Seaway. Where Clemens Reiss wooden sailing ships brought coal, salt, cement to the harbor in the 1880s, today modern steamers such as the 600-foot William A. Reiss bring in as much as 14,000 tons of coal from the eastern fields in one shipment. This is the end of one journey for a Reiss coal ship which took on her cargo in Lake Erie, a cargo that would have taken months to deliver in many voyages in the early sailing ship days. Modern navigational and communication devices make today's voyages almost routine, a far cry from the dangers and perils of lake travel 75 years ago. And where an adventurous captain had to negotiate the harbor on his own in those days, tugboats snub in the huge lakers with no trouble at all. This huge coal yard occupies the river frontage all the way from the 8th Street Bridge to the Lake Michigan shoreline, and at its fall peak stores some 350,000 tons of coal for householders and industry in the area. Similar yards and docks are maintained at other Great Lakes cities, including Manitowoc, Green Bay, Ashland, Two Rivers, Superior, and Escanaba, plus retail yards in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Unloading operations today are vastly different from the primitive means which young Clemens Reiss ago. Now, modern bridge and bucket installations are used, which can empty the William Reiss, the hold of 14,000 tons of cargo, in just about 30 hours. This huge bucket can scoop up 17 tons of coal in one massive gulp. Compare this to the old method when baskets of coal were unloaded by a rope and tackle attached to a sailing ship's mast. The laborious operation powered by a horse, led by a man. It was not until the turn of the century that more modern means were installed at the docks, and the improvement of such equipment has been a never-ending challenge. When newer, more modern methods of moving more cargo faster have been developed, the Reiss Coal Company has installed them at their docks. At this yard, there is a complete screening plant which sorts coal into various sizes and treats it to make it dustless and to burn cleaner. Some of the coal may be dumped directly into railroad cars for further shipment by rail to other points within Wisconsin. It may be stored in huge piles on the ground or placed directly in hoppers to provide efficient loading of trucks for delivery within the Sheboygan area. Generous though nature has been in bestowing her bounty in Wisconsin, one thing is lacking: native coal. Therefore, every chunk used must be imported. And this is selected coal brought in from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Kentucky. This Reiss imported coal serves not only the homes and industry of Wisconsin, but a large area of the Northwest, which, like Wisconsin, has no coal of its own. Millions of tons of coal have been shipped from the Reiss Company dock since 1880. And today, a vast storehouse of more than 2 million tons on 10 docks in 7 port cities is maintained by the company. In the truck loading operation, each hopper has graded coal for specific uses: household, commercial, or industrial. And a fleet of modern trucks with experienced drivers provide prompt, courteous, and careful deliveries to Reiss Company's many customers. Before leaving the yard, each outgoing truck must be weighed. Both truck and cargo are weighed on huge scales, accurate to a pound. Since the weight of the truck is a known constant, it is simple to determine the exact tonnage of the coal carried. The driver of each truck is given a trip slip which certifies the amount of coal in his vehicle and the destination. And so begins the second phase of coal distribution to the Sheboygan area, a movement of commodity that never stops, as the demands of industry are as great in summer as they are in winter. The fleet of trucks fans out from the big Reiss yards each carrying its particular grade of coal for a particular type customer. In this case, the demand is by a business concern, which has machinery to power and a building to heat. A commercial-grade coal is required for this customer's needs. For the home, a householder's grade of coal for use in automatic fired furnaces is provided, still the most efficient method of heating a home. And this type of fuel will always be available, for America's reserves of coal are limitless and considered almost inexhaustible. And modern combustion techniques are revolutionizing the use of coal as a fuel. Yet fuel oil continues to be in increasing demand as a convenient fuel. And in keeping abreast with the changing times, Reiss Coal Company has augmented its basic business of coal to include the sale of oil to those customers who require it. But the fuel oil business is, in itself, a mammoth operation. In 1953, the Wingrove Oil Company was acquired and is operated as a subsidiary of the Reiss Coal Company. Additional storage tanks were built shortly afterwards, and today, more than 7.5 million gallons of fuel are held in this huge storage area, making Wingrove one of the largest oil terminals on the Great Lakes. This storage is replenished during the winter season by tanker deliveries from the lake, as Sheboygan is an open port all year. The heater and burner oils distributed through the Reiss Coal Company division are known as Wingrove Firebright. As in the case of coal deliveries, Reiss maintains a fleet of fast modern tank trucks to supply homes and industry with various grades of fuel oils. Accurate checks on volumes of oil delivered are metered right at the point of delivery by gauges on each truck, and power pumps force the fuel through the hose up to the householder's oil port. In most deliveries, fuel can be serviced from the street quickly, cleanly. Headquarters for the complex Reiss Coal Company operations is centered in this brick building on South 8th Street, where the second and third generation of Clemens Reiss carry on the sound business philosophy of the founder. But business is not the only thing discussed at these company conferences. Community responsibility, as well as responsibility for the company's employees, is of prime concern to the Reiss management. In such meetings, the problem of unemployment of Reiss workers in the summer months was discussed. And this was the answer. Another industry, whose peak came in the summer when the fuel business is at its seasonal ebb: road construction. Several years ago, Reiss Coal Company acquired the Reliance Construction Company, whose prime activity was blacktop paving. It is now a wholly owned subsidiary, which operates 3 hot mix asphalt plants in the Sheboygan area. The Reliance Construction Company's field has been extended to playgrounds and parking area services, as well as many state highways resurfaced by this company. Mixes are transported from the plants, ready to be used directly from the trucks. And many of the workers you see here, as well as those who operate the mix plants, are employees of the Reiss Coal Company during the winter months, when activity there is at its peak, and road building and resurfacing operations are curtailed because of the weather. It is this leveling out of employment which has contributed much to the stability of Sheboygan's economy, by assuring steady and continued employment for the company's workers the year round. This is but one example of the philosophy of the company which serves Sheboygan, and in turn, the community is grateful to the foresight of the young Clemens Reiss, who 3 generations ago founded his thriving business, which helped the city grow. Whenever and wherever men have built, concrete is basic to that building. And so it is in Sheboygan. As the city has grown, its streets developed, its structures built, its water and sewer lines extended, one pioneer company has both contributed to that development as well as grown with the city: the Vandervart Brick and Building Supply Company. This old line establishment has its roots reaching back to 1888, when a 33-acre tract on South 15th Street and Georgia Avenue was used to dig clay and manufacture common brick. It was then called the Oscar Zimbel Brick Company. After its purchase by the Vandervart family, the manufacturing line was expanded to include concrete and a complete line of hard material building supplies. Today, mixed concrete is the basic product, prepared in the plant and delivered in mixed trucks to the job site. If all the concrete produced by Vandervart in 1 year were to be used in a single highway, it would make a 20-foot ribbon from Chicago to Sheboygan, 7 inches thick. These mixed trucks can be loaded at the plant every 3 minutes, and 15 of the trucks are equipped with two-way radio for quick and efficient dispatching. The proportions of mix specified by the job are relayed to the mix house operator by teletype from the main office. The greatest volume of concrete, however, is not used in construction jobs such as you have just seen. Important though that operation is, it is the production of concrete pipe which is the principal output of the Vandervart Brick and Building Supply Company. These huge pipes are to be used in sewer construction. They are now being removed from the kiln, where they have been curing overnight in steam heat at 120-degree temperature. Heat and moisture are essential for the proper setting and curing of concrete forms. Concrete pipe is made in all the common sizes required in home building as well as sewer construction. They range in size from 6 to 42 inches outside diameter in 6-inch steps. Where Oscar Zimble once dug clay for his bricks almost 3 generations ago, the pit is used for mass storage of concrete pipe, all shapes, sizes, and varieties for innumerable uses in modern-day construction. Let's take a look at how concrete pipe is made by the Vandervart people. To provide initial strength and reinforcement of the pipe, an inner cage of steel rod is made by welding the rods together. The concrete is poured around this cage in the rotary mold. Centrifugal force, exerted by rotation of the mold, ensures proper packing of the mix and forcing out air bubbles that could weaken the completed pipe or result later in a leak. Specifications in both mixture and mechanical techniques must be rigidly observed. State projects, for instance, require inspection of each pipe, which must withstand a test of 108,000 pounds loading before it can be accepted. After the core of the pipe has been removed from the mold, the forklift moves in and takes away the entire mold and pipe. At this point, the concrete has begun to set and can be handled out of the mold, although it is not yet ready for storage or use. And as one filled mold is removed, an empty one is dollied into position under the rotary mechanism. This manufacture, by the way, is done under the name of the Wisconsin Concrete Pipe and Culvert Company, a Vandervart subsidiary formed in 1931. The demands of modern construction call for the strength and durability of Portland cement mixed into a tough and strong concrete reinforced with steel. And the story of Vandervart is also the story of Sheboygan. Progress, growth, development, with a confident eye on the future. Sheboygan is known as the city of diversified industry, and one of its unusual industries is the manufacture of corrugated paper boxes. In a marketing economy which emphasizes packaging as well as strength in containers, the product of the National Box and Specialty Company is used around the world. First, a lesson in stress. Nobody expects a sheet of paper on edge to bear weight, even its own. But now let us take that same sheet of paper and give it another dimension by forming half tubes. Corrugation, it is called. Now let's see what happens when this sheet of paper in the corrugated form is called upon to display strength and bear weight. It answers the challenge. Actually, that is all corrugated board is. A single sheet of paper crimped or corrugated into much smaller tubes than we have demonstrated with the paper sheet. This single sheet is then sandwiched between two smooth sheets and glued together, giving even more rigidity and strength. That is the simple secret of how boxes made of paper, but of laminated corrugated paper, are so strong and durable, and are used by manufacturers for packing canned goods, food packing cases, toys, enameled ware, even delicate equipment for the armed forces. Look at the test this simple corrugated container box is subjected to. The weight of a 200-pound man is easily borne by the box, although he exerts extra force on it, and the container maintains its shape. The manufacture of corrugated paper boxes begins with these rolls of paper, the basic raw material. At first, the manufacture of corrugated paper boxes appears to be much like the printing of a newspaper, in that the paper rolls go through an operation that looks like a rotary printing press. Actually, this is the corrugation operation, and as was demonstrated earlier, it amounts to crimping one section, applying glue, and backing both sides with a straight paper. The corrugated boards are then fashioned into boxes automatically, as well as other miscellaneous shapes as shims or protection and packaging. In the meantime, the boards have to be die cut, slotted, even printed with the customer's trade name or brand, whatever he specifies, before the final stitching, stapling, and taping operation. And all of it done mechanically, quickly, efficiently. As we watch the operation, let's go into the history of the National Box and Paper Company. Back in 1906, when the company was founded, it was known as the National Box and Binding Company. It was engaged in the manufacture of set-up boxes, as well as bookbinding. It entered the corrugated box business in 1920, and by 1928 had dropped its other activities to devote its facilities exclusively to the corrugation line. Since 1952, the company has been located in the modern $300,000 modern factory that you saw at the beginning of this film. It is situated on an 18-acre tract at 808 North Wildwood Avenue. One of the surprising things about the National Box and Specialty Company's operation is its efficiency, the volume of output compared to its workforce. By use of these high-speed box manufacturing methods, thousands of corrugated boxes are turned out each day, several carloads, and yet the entire plant is operated by less than 60 people, including shop and office personnel. Did you know that baby chicks are shipped live in corrugated boxes? In addition to providing strength to protect the chicks and lightness to hold down shipping costs, the natural low thermal conductivity of the corrugated box serves to insulate the delicate contents from the extremes of hot or cold during shipment. Note in this operation how the corrugated boards are automatically folded into the proper dimensions to form a box. Another new use for corrugated boxes is the volume shipment of television picture tubes. Both fragile as well as odd-shaped and expensive, one major manufacturer, in utilizing corrugated boxes for packing and shipping TV tubes, has estimated it has saved 69% of its previous cost in time and material. It saves 47% in warehouse floor space and 70% in loading time, all of which can result in lower costs to the ultimate consumer. So at the end of the production line come the various sizes and shapes of corrugated boxes which have become such an important part of the nation's economy. The most modern box manufacturing plant in the Midwest, the National Box and Specialty Company of Sheboygan. From the time the early caveman discovered he could use a long stick to move a rock many times his own weight, mankind has developed its civilization by moving things and lifting things. And here's a modern man about to be faced with just that problem. In a few moments, he will have to lift an automobile in order to change a tire, but not by the long stick method, although the principles of leverage are the same. For with mankind's progress has come the utilization of the hydraulic principle, which is the business of the Hydraulic Tools Corporation, a bustling young industrial firm that promises to become one of the outstanding industries in the Sheboygan area. One of its products was the small hydraulic Black Hawk Brave jack, which has enabled our motorists to meet one of the challenges of modern-day living. This is the complete line of jacks manufactured by the Hydraulics Tool Corporation, a division of the Black Hawk Manufacturing Company of Milwaukee. These jacks range from lifts of 1.5 to 100 tons and are used in the automotive and transportation industries, as well as in mining, construction, heavy moving, and numerous other types of endeavor where loads have to be lifted. Basic unit of any hydraulic jack is the cylinder. which is being machined in the company's plant at 732 North Wildwood Avenue. More than 90 people are engaged in jack production in this 50,000 square foot plant located on a 6-acre tract. Originally, this was the property of another tool company, which was taken over by Hydraulic Tools in 1952. A modernization program began immediately, a process that is still going on, in which automatic production units have replaced the original machine tools. This famous Black Hawk line of jacks is packed and boxed according to model and size for shipment to industry the world over. Although the Hydraulic Tools Corporation was formed just a few years ago, the product and brand name are old established lines in the hydraulics tool field. The parent company, the Black Hawk Manufacturing Company, has been in this business since 1910. It has since become the largest manufacturer of hydraulic tools in the world. The Hydraulic Tools Corporation has taken over the production of the jack line, with Black Hawk Manufacturing devoting itself exclusively to the design and manufacture of other types of hydraulic implements. The jack line is found in the heavy transportation industry, where trucks weighing many tons must be lifted, or wherever there is occasion for the family automobile to be lifted, for tire change or inspection. A special type jack is made for quick and easy use in service stations. It's a long way from Sheboygan to Bangor, Maine, or San Diego, California, or Tokyo, or Manila. But Black Hawk jacks are found the world over. They're made right here in our city by the Hydraulic Tools Corporation. For nearly 40 years, the name Leverenz shoe has been a well-known name in Sheboygan. And these are the Leverenz, father and son. Clarence Leverenz, president, and Robert Leverenz, a vice president. President Leverenz is also general manager. Robert Leverenz is also production manager. Another father and son team in the company are the Esch's. Carl H. Esch is secretary-treasurer of the company. His son John is vice president and retail sales manager. Both men take an active role in shoe styling by Leverenz. In addition, Esch Sr. is concerned with sales as well as office management. They combine their talents in providing the ideas for styling that have made Leverenz a leader in the field. How many of you really know how a shoe is made? Well, let's find out right here at home. Like the foundation of a house, the outsole of a shoe must be durable and strong. Oak, tanned, extra thick leather is used for these soles, many of them cut from a single sheet on the big beam machines. Then begins the patented insole construction, in which a rib is cemented to a leather blank. This will be on the inside of the shoe. After that, the welt is sewn to the rib. After this operation, we move on to the construction of the cushion insoles, part of the secret of the comfort of Leverenz shoes. You are seeing here what goes into the making of the Cushion King line. Foam and sponge rubber wrapped with a soft, porous pigskin. It is a type of careful construction that is typical of the entire line of Leverenz shoes, men's dress and semi-dress in the medium price field. Simultaneous with the sole and insole operation goes the preparation of the uppers, being stamped out from a dressed, lighter colored leather. It may be calf, kid, kangaroo, or pigskin. In order to join two pieces of leather by sewing, the edges must be beveled so that there is but a single thickness dimension at the seam. This is essential for comfort, as well as the proper finishing of an edge of leather. Stitching in a shoe is done for two reasons. Primarily for strength, second for design and appearance. Here we are seeing panel stitching, where the operator is making a design by following a pattern or marker. In this edge stitching operation, the quarters and the quarter linings are joined together. As she stitches, the excess lining is trimmed from the top. These workers, by the way, are all members of Local 197 of the Boot and Shoe Workers Union, AFL-CIO. The company is proud of its record of maintaining a low rate of labor turnover, and in turn, maintaining good relations with the unions representing the employees. Well, this is the vamping operation you are seeing here. It is the assembling of all the individual pieces which will make up the upper part of the shoe. This, by the way, is the final operation in this area, which is called the fitting room. 3,000 pairs of shoes are turned out in one day by the Sheboygan factory and its sister plants in New Holstein and Valders. Final assembly operation is carried on in the lasting department, with the shoe pulled over the last. First, the insole is secured and finally the outsole. This was preceded by the inseaming, where the welting was secured to the ribs of the insole. Thus, the work of a master craftsman, the bootmaker, completed and made more efficient by modern methods, yet depended on the natural skill and experience of the craftsman. His work is enhanced, the leather preserved by spraying, then packed for delivery to Leverenz shoe customers throughout the United States, the West Indies, Hawaii, and Alaska. Another chapter in the television story of Sheboygan, nestled on the shores of Lake Michigan, a city of homes and families, of opportunities for work and for play, a good place to visit, a better place in which to live. Industrial in its own right, the city can also be called the heart of America's dairyland. Sheboygan is one of the few fortunate cities in the United States clustered around the Great Lakes, which can claim to have an inexhaustible water supply. The demands of manufacture, plus the increasing use of fresh water for domestic uses, can be met by Sheboygan and Lake Michigan. In her people, her natural resources, in her children, Sheboygan looks to the future with confidence, for the city can meet the challenge.